In this lesson, we will create eye controls. So to give animators the most freedom, what we'll do is we'll create a control to drive each eye separately, and then we'll create a control to drive both of those collectively. And then by the end, we'll make sure that that control can allow us to freely target the eyes so they can be animated naturally. So let's go ahead and get started with those separate controls first, and we can go ahead and create NURBS circles. So we'll head over to Create, NURBS Primitives, and we'll create a circle. All right, great. From here, let's go ahead and again rotate it 90 degrees in our x-axis so it projects towards the character. Now we'll go ahead and hide the character, and we'll take this shape and snap it over to the left eye. All right, great. Now from here, we can start to bring down the radius. So you don't always have to go to component mode. Since we already have history here, we can start to adjust the radius parameter, just dragging that down a bit. Great, I might even set this value to something half the amount of what we have here. So I'll set it to about 0.05, and there we go. Now, before we move this forward, we're going to duplicate this object, and we'll snap it over to the right eye. Now we can grab both curves and move them forward. I'll also go ahead and bring the character back so we can take a look at how far these controls are. Alright, so that should work out just fine. Now, we'll go in and we will clean up the history because the first curve we have here still has history. So if we were to go ahead and click on Delete History, take a look, that has been cleaned out. Great, and the other control is just fine. Now, with them still selected, we can go ahead and freeze their transforms. Great. Let's say we color code them next. So the one on the right side will be red. Let's go ahead and search for that. There we go. And we'll take care of the one on the left. All right, wonderful. All right, so from here, we can go ahead and work on renaming these. So that will be NMLI01. Let's copy this name and rename the one on the right side. Alrighty, so now we're ready to create our parent control. Let's go ahead and make that a rectangle as well. So we'll head over to our CV Curve tool. Again, I'll just go ahead and press the Y key. We'll hold down the X key and snap to grid. We'll center the pivot on this object, and then again rotate it 90 degrees in the x-axis. Now, let's go ahead and center it between our two eye controls. So we'll go ahead and select the two eye controls first. We'll go ahead and grab our curve. We'll go to Constrain, and we'll apply a point constraint with Maintain Offset off. All right, wonderful. We no longer need that point constraint now, so we could always remove it from the outliner if we'd like. I'm going to grab the point constraint from here and delete it. Now, let's go ahead and start to bring the size down on this control. I'll also go ahead and bring it in the Z-axis so it wraps around the two controls nicely. And there we go. All right, with it still selected, we'll go ahead and freeze its transforms. We'll also rename it. That's going to be NM Eyes 01. Let's now move over to our attribute editor so we can give this a color, and we'll work with yellow. All right, great. Let's go ahead and move back to our channel box. We'll grab our smaller controls and parent to the main control for the eyes. Awesome. Now, as far as where we'll place this, we could parent it to the head, but the problem is, let's go ahead and take a look. I'll go ahead and shift select the head control, and we'll go ahead and parent the eyes there. When we start to move the head around, the eyes will never truly be able to target. What if we wanted to target a spot right around here? Well, watch this. When we grab the head control, now we'd have to counter key. We'd have to bring the eyes over there so that they can target that spot. So instead, what I'd like to do is leave the eyes parented to the controls group. That way we can move them freely without having to worry about counter keying them. Now, there's also a way of setting up a dynamic parent system. You can learn about that in our Quick Start to Rigging in Maya Volume 2. But for right now, we'll get great control with this control system here parented to our controls group. All right, sweet. So again, I'm going to take that, click controls, and press the P key. Wonderful. Now, as far as cleaning up our channels is concerned, we can go in and get rid of scale and visibility on the main control. We will add rotation because sometimes we can use rotation to correct the eyes. We could also use them to create a googly eye type of effect. We'll take a look at that soon. Now for the subcontrollers here, we'll only leave translation, as rotation nor scale will do nothing for us. Alright, great. So it's now time to control the eye's orientation. So you could always work with an aim constraint, but what I also like to do is work with inverse kinematics. Let's go ahead and take a look at how that works, because it's a very fast way to set up our eyes. So what we'll do is go ahead and hide our character. We'll start with the left eye. We'll head over to skeleton and grab the IK handle tool. We'll connect from the eye root over to its end joint. Sweet, let's go ahead and name this RP LI 01. We can now grab our control, we'll grab the IK handle, and we'll apply a point constraint. This eye should not shift because we made sure that we moved this control back in just one direction. If it was kind of slanted, you could see how it's going to cause the eye to point an offset away from its position here, where it's straight forward. Alright, so we want to be really careful about that. Alright, great, but watch this. When we go in and start to move this control, the eye will now follow. Again, it's a fast way to set up eye controls, and then when we grab the main control, we'll be able to drive both eyes. Let's go ahead and take care of that right side. So again, I'll hide the character. We'll grab our IK handle tool, just pressing the Y key. We'll connect from the root to the end joint. Let's name this RP RI 01. And now we'll grab our control, we'll grab the IK handle, and apply a point constraint. Alright, sweet. So now when we grab this, and we start to move this around, take a look, everything follows just fine. How about that googly eye effect? Well, if we were to go ahead and grab our rotate tool as we start to rotate in the Z-axis, take a look. I'll never get tired of that. Awesome. And then if we rotate in the Y-axis, we bring them together. Sweet. Alright, so we have a lot of control here. Let's go ahead and zero out our control object. And we'll go ahead and find a home for our IK handles. We already have one. It's the IKs group. So we'll go ahead and control click those, control click the IKs group, and press the P key. And there we have it. So our rig is nice and clean. We already have our eye controls in place. Great. So let's say we move on to our arm controls in the next lesson.